recap, what I've done is I've made a database and it's connecting to the pages now. So if you look here and you hover over one of these categories, you'll notice that it says index.php category 1. And then you go down here, it's category 2, and so on and so forth. And that is because in the database we have the categories all listed and their ID numbers, and that is what you're seeing. So now to go to category 6, you're not actually even leaving the index page, it's just pulling up the information from the database about category 6. And you'll also notice that we have ArcFlash Asbestos Confined, but in here we have ArcFlash Asbestos Brands then Confined. And the reason you're not seeing brands on this page is because I've elected to make it not visible. So it's a 0 instead of a 1, so you aren't going to see it on the page. And the reason I have it not visible is because Mona said to put brands on that listing, but then she also wanted it to be searchable by brands. So now, this is the index, and it automatically goes to categories in the sidebar. If you go to brands.php, which is, if you were to click here, that would take you there, you will see in a second that this will switch to the brands over here. So it connects.
Yeah, I got your email today.
Come on.
Okay, if you do search by brand, say MSA, well, is that what you mean, like MSA or Dallas Bay, or search by brand? Okay.
So when you hit the search by brand, it's going to take you to brands.php.
Okay.
So why it's taking so long? Let me try it one more time. And the only reason I'm having to use this is because we don't have it on the server yet, because the database isn't on the server. Connecting.
And where are we supposed to put the images and things?
I'll show you that.
Okay.
We're not there yet. I'm just showing you the basics here so you have an idea of what's going on.
The weight and dimension is very hard to give it
This
because
is on.
it's in the crates. It's a big unit, so every time it changes how they pack it.
On. And also, make sure this is going to. Yep, so that's running too. I can pause for a second. I don't know why it's being so slow. It's connected to your guys' Wi-Fi. Yeah. Turn it.
Right, yeah. And in this case also shipping will be quite a bit. You know, there's a lot of shipping involved in that. Correct. Yes, you have to assemble there because otherwise they are impossible to
For some reason it's not connecting right now. Possible. I think it's because I went from Wi-Fi to Wi-Fi. Back to here. Sharing.
but that will be very expensive.
Chunk. There we go. have to do any of this once the server, the database is all connected. There we go. Alright, so basically when you click on the search by brand, you'll notice that it's going to brands.php.
Yeah.
So that means that the sidebar changes. So now, rather than having those categories and all the categories listed, we have the brands and the brands listed. And that is its own separate table inside of the database. We just have just the brand names. And here you can also toggle whether or not you want visible or not. Right now I have all of them visible. There's 194 brands. So you will notice that on this page, since it lists every single one of them in that sidebar, the sidebar is pretty long. Those were the ones, though, that Mona said she wanted to have included, so I just put them all. But you'll see that this neat little jQuery thing I did with the brands over here, it still works, and you'll notice that is going to brands brand 1, because it's number 1, 2, so on and so forth. So you can click here, and you'll get the same response as if you were clicking here. You can also still do that sort. So if you're just wanting the numbers through D, it'll just pull those. If you're just wanting L through R, then it'll just pull those and change them in there. So that'll just help the user be able to pick quickly. If they don't remember the actual name over here, they can choose in here. But all of these are still connected to the database, both this side and in here. So that's how just that part works. Now if you want to go in and actually edit the database, then I've created a staff area. So right now it's login.php, but you can get to it from any of the normal pages just by going to, go away, don't want the chat. So if you were on the normal website and you wanted to log in to make changes, you just go all the way down to this footer. You'll notice designed by me, and that says staff login. If you click that staff login, it'll take you to the login page. And if you're not staff, you'd go to the page, but then you wouldn't be able to access anything until you actually signed in. So it's encrypted against other people. But that's how you're going to access that login page. And then it takes you to here, which says staff area, so that you know where you are. That would return you back to the index if you made a mistake. But you would just go in here, you'd log into staff area. And so for me, I created a login for myself. And to use. And why is it doing that? Resend. Login. Such a pain. Okay, so yet again, it's needing to connect to the database, which it isn't connected to. But I have a table in here that has the login. So for me, there's my username, and then I made a login, but then I hashed the password so that way it's encrypted against other people. And you still just log in with the password you gave, but then it attaches that hashing to what you put in. So right now I'm the only user, but if I want to go in and view the page where it takes you to, staff only, I believe it's called login welcome. Login _ welcome _ page. Login. Being such a pain. Let me try through this one. There we go. I'll just close this one because it's not working. Alright, so once you get logged in, you go to the staff menu, and you have the option you can manage the brand content, manage the category content. The brand content, as we saw, is only under the search by brand. But once you're in that area, you can look by the brand, then you can pull up any product that's connected to it, anything like that. The category content is the default. Category content is the default when you land on the home page. If you go to About Page or Contact Page, that's your default sidebar. And then you also have the option to add a staff user. So I just made that universal. I can put it for a specific person to only have that ability, but at the moment it's universal. So let's say we want to add, and we can add Chris. So Chris, and let's just put test password, test PW. So we can always change that. So creating password, and it says was created. So now, since I have access to the back end, I always go back and check, and I go users, and there you are. So if you ever want to change the password, I can change it for you too. But that's just a test. All right. So.
Hi. Fine, are you?
Still going?
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
I think the movie's gonna be completely upside down.
Oh. Well, as long as you can hear it, right? Ready? Okay.
The only problem is I can't really hold the camera on this and then understand to hear anything. So it's